All right, so you're getting ready for the NEET exam. Well, today we're diving deep into the world of botany specifically.
Really going to help you guys ace that section.
Exactly. We found this awesome YouTube video by a top botany expert.
Yeah, he really knows his stuff.
And we're breaking down all the key takeaways, so it's like having a cheat sheet straight from the source.
Like a secret weapon for conquering those tricky plant questions.
I like that, a secret weapon. Okay, so right off the bat, the expert highlights something really interesting.
Oh yeah, this blew my mind a little bit.
He says that more and more high-achieving students are actually choosing biology now.
It's becoming like the hot new thing.
And it's making NEET even more competitive than the JE mains exam.
I know, right? Talk about pressure.
So the stakes are definitely high, but the good news is our expert gives us a killer roadmap.
He lays out exactly where to focus your energy based on the weightage of each topic on the exam.
Smart. So you're not wasting time on things that are less likely to show up.
Exactly. He pinpoints 4 key areas that cover almost 70% of the questions.
Okay, hit me with him.
Cell biology, plant physiology, genetics, and molecular basis of inheritance, and biotechnology.
Got it. So those are the big guns, the ones we really got to master.
Exactly. Maximize your efforts, right?
Makes sense. Okay, let's break it down unit by unit, shall we? Unit 1, the living world.
Ah, yes, back to the basics.
Well, sort of. It focuses on 2 main topics, biological classification and the plant kingdom.
Right. Got to know how to organize all those plant friends.
What I found super helpful was the expert's emphasis on memory techniques, especially for classification.
Oh, yeah, mnemonics are a lifesaver. He shared this one, KPCOFGS.
What does that stand for?
Stands for kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species.
Oh, clever. That's way easier than trying to remember them in order.
Totally. Makes it stick in your brain.
For sure. And when it comes to the plant kingdom, the expert says we need to be solid on key examples,
Got to know your plant families.
general characteristics, and those life cycles.
Those can be a bit tricky.
Definitely. Like learning a plant's whole family history.
Yeah. He threw in a little bonus tip, too. He said to pay attention to whether a plant is monoecious or dioecious.
Monoecious, dioecious. Remind me what those mean.
Sure. Monoecious plants, they have both male and female parts on the same plant.
So they're self-sufficient.
Exactly. Like a botanical bachelor pad.
Okay, I like that analogy. And dioecious.
Dioecious plants keep things separate. One plant for male, one for female.
Interesting. So it's kind of like the plant world's version of separate but equal.
You got it.
Okay, so moving on to Unit 2, structural organization.
This is where things get a little more visual.
Right. The expert says get those pencils ready because morphology questions are all about diagrams.
He actually predicted there will be like 2 or 3 questions that are diagram-based.
So we got to know those plant structures inside and out.
Like you're a botanical architect, sketching out all the parts.
I love that. Titch the flashcards, grab the pencils, right?
Exactly. And for taxonomy, he recommends focusing on floral characters and economic importance.
It's all about comparing and contrasting, right?
You got it.
Yeah.
Like setting up these mental comparison tables in your head.
Okay, like dicot versus monocot.
Exactly. Or, the key features of different plant families.
Got it.
He also mentioned that for histology and anatomy questions.
Histology, that's a study of tissues, right?
Yep. And those often focus on comparisons too, like dicot versus monocot structures.
Okay, makes sense.
Secondary growth, the periderm and bark, all that good stuff.
It's like we're learning the anatomy of a plant from its roots to its leaves.
Exactly.
Okay, on to a big one. Unit 3, cell biology. The expert calls this a high-yield area.
And with good reason. 3 chapters covering like 10 potential questions.
Wow, that's a lot.
He really stresses the importance of nailing those cell organelles.
Got to know those little factories inside the cell.
For sure. And for chromosome structure, he had an interesting tip.
Oh. All ears.
He warned about these sort of out-of-the-box topics like polytene and lampbrush chromosomes.
Okay, those sound a little intimidating.
They have popped up on previous exams, though, so he says we got to be prepared.
Note to self, brush up on those quirky chromosomes. But why does he think those show up on the exam?
He thinks it's about testing a deeper understanding, not just memorization.
Okay, that makes sense.
Like polytene chromosomes, those are found in the salivary glands of fruit flies, and they're huge.
So they're easy to study.
Exactly. Perfect for understanding chromosome structure.
Interesting.
And then lampbrush chromosomes, those are found in developing egg cells.
Okay.
They're called lampbrush chromosomes because they actually look like brushes.
Really?
Yeah, it's because they're actively transcribing RNA, which is super important for development.
Okay, so they're not just random facts. They're connected to these crucial processes.
Exactly.
All right, moving on to Unit 4, Plant physiology. This feels like a marathon.
5 chapters, 9 to 10 questions.
Yeah, where do we even begin?
Don't worry, the expert's got us covered.
Good, because I'm feeling a little overwhelmed.
He says to focus on the conceptual nature of transport in plants.
Like, how do those nutrients and water actually get where they need to go?
Exactly. Then for mineral nutrition, he says just focus on those essential facts.
Like memorizing a plant's grocery list.
Exactly. And then for photosynthesis and respiration, it's all about understanding those details.
Okay, like how plants make their food and how they break it down for energy.
You got it.
For photosynthesis, what are the key points to really focus on?
He emphasized comparing C3 and C4 plants, like understanding 2 different ways plants can cook up their energy.
Interesting.
And then photorespiration.
Isn't that when plants kind of waste energy by mistake?
Exactly. It's like they get a little confused.
Poor plants. And then, of course, that classic exam question, the respiration balance sheet.
Oh, yeah. Gotta know how many ATPs are produced like the back of your hand.
All right, on to Unit 5, reproduction in plants.
More diagrams.
You're reading my mind. So we need to be solid on those for the modes of reproduction chapter, right?
For sure. And for sexual reproduction, it's all about those key structures.
Okay, like the male and female gametophytes.
Yep. And the process of fertilization. And he even threw in some tricky terms,
Oh, no. Like what?
like endosperm and perisperm.
Okay, help me out here. What's the difference between those two? They always get jumbled up in my head.
Think of it like this. Endosperm, that's like the main meal for a developing plant embryo.
Packed of nutrients.
Exactly. And then perisperm, that's like the extra snack pack.
Okay, I like that.
It provides extra nutrients in some plant species.
So main course versus bonus snack.
Exactly.
Yeah, it makes way more sense. All right, Unit 6, genetics. This one always makes me a little nervous.
The expert says the key here is to be a super careful reader
Oh, I can see why.
and really understand those key concepts like linkage.
Right, linkage, that's how genes are linked together on a chromosome, right?
Exactly. He said there are a lot of statement-based questions here.
Those can be tricky.
You got to really dissect the wording to avoid those sneaky traps.
Totally. So for linkage, what do we need to know?
It's all about the relationship between linkage strength, the distance between genes, and recombination frequency.
So the closer the genes are on the chromosome, the more likely they are to be inherited together.
You got it. He even hinted that there might be problems on chromosome mapping, so you might want to review those formulas.
Okay, good to know. Unit 7, human welfare. This one seems like a bit of a breather.
The expert said it's mostly memory-based, which is nice after all that genetics.
Whew, yeah, a welcome break.
He emphasized familiarizing ourselves with examples and terminology related to enhancing food production.
Like GMOs and selective breeding.
Exactly. And the role of microbes in human welfare, those helpful bacteria that keep us healthy.
Okay, so Unit 8, biotechnology. This one sounds a little intimidating.
The expert had some great tips for this one.
Lay 'em on me.
He said to memorize structures, like PBR 322.
What's that?
It's like a blueprint for a commonly used cloning vector.
Okay.
And understanding restriction enzymes is key.
Those are like molecular scissors, right?
You got it. They cut DNA at specific spots.
Cool.
He also said the application section in botany focuses on pretty straightforward concepts,
Phew, that's a relief.
like double-stranded RNA and its role in gene silencing.
So like turning off a specific gene.
Exactly. It has huge implications for things like medicine and agriculture.
Okay, last one. Unit 9, ecosystem. Just one question, right?
Don't get too excited. That one question can make all the difference.
Good point.
The expert suggests focusing on ecological succession.
How ecosystems change over time.
Right. And nutrient cycles.
Understanding how elements flow through the environment.
Yep. And finally, ecosystem services.
The benefits ecosystems provide to humans.
Exactly. He specifically mentioned knowing the percentage contributions of each service.
Okay, so we just blitzed through all 9 units. It feels like we just did a botanical boot camp.
We did.
But now we're 6 days out from the exam.
Crunch time.
What does the expert recommend for tackling this mountain of information?
He proposes a 6-day revision plan.
6 days, 9 units. Okay, lay it on me.
Day 1, living world and reproduction.
Got it.
Day 2, structural organization.
Yeah.
Day 3, cell biology.
Makes sense, building on the previous day.
Day 4, plant physiology.
All right.
Day 5, genetics and molecular basis.
Okay, and day 6.
Day 6, human welfare and biotechnology.
It's a logical progression, starting with the fundamentals and building up to the more complex stuff.
Exactly. He emphasizes focusing on those key points and numerical values.
Because those often show up on the exam, right?
Yep. He also suggests memorizing things like scientist names, countries, and even the years of important experiments,
Oh, that's detailed.
like creating a timeline of botanical breakthroughs in your mind.
Okay, and here's a reassuring thought he shared.
Oh, good. I need some reassurance right now.
He said, don't panic about those brand new concepts.
Oh, thank goodness.
Focus on solidifying what you already know well.
Play to your strengths.
Exactly. Maximize your strengths in the time you have.
Love that.
Yeah.
But let's be real. Exam pressure is no joke.
It's a beast. Does the expert have any tips for managing that pre-exam anxiety?
He does. It all starts with mindset.
Okay, tell me more.
He encourages students to stay calm and avoid getting fixated on getting a specific score.
So don't focus on the numbers.
Right. Instead, just focus on understanding the questions and giving it your all.
Approach the exam as a challenge to be conquered, not a threat to be feared.
Exactly.
Easier said than done, but I can see how that shift in perspective can be really helpful.
Absolutely.
What about time management during the exam? Any strategies there?
He actually suggests a specific order for tackling the subjects.
Oh, interesting. What's the order?
Botany, zoology, chemistry, and lastly, physics.
Why that order?
It lets you capitalize on the memory-based nature of biology while your brain is fresh.
Okay, so knock those out first.
Then you can free up mental space for those more complex subjects later on.
I like that strategy, and it eases you into the more challenging stuff.
Exactly. And he had one more really important tip.
Okay, what is it?
He said if you come across a question that completely stumps you, don't let it derail your whole exam.
Oh, I've definitely been there, spiraling over one question.
We've all been there.
Hmm.
He says just move on and come back to it later if you have time.
Makes sense. Sometimes you just need a fresh perspective.
Exactly. Your brain might even work on it in the background without you realizing it.
That's true. And he also stressed careful reading, especially for keywords like correct versus incorrect.
Right. And watch out for those questions that twist concepts or use tricky synonymous words.
It's like the examiners are trying to play mind games with us.
They might be. And finally, he highlighted the importance of bubbling accuracy.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Easy to make silly mistakes under pressure.
Exactly. Double-check those answers to avoid those unnecessary point deductions.
It's all about attention to detail, even when the pressure's on.
You're sure?
You know, it's so inspiring to hear from actual students who aced this exam.
Oh, yeah. They're walking proof that it can be done.
They emphasize discipline and dedication, but it's not about being a study robot 24/7, right?
Not at all. They talked about building confidence through practice.
Right. Got to put in the reps.
And figuring out your strengths and weaknesses. And seeking guidance from teachers and mentors.
Having a good support system is key.
Absolutely. They also talked about understanding the exam pattern.
So, knowing what to expect.
And developing a personalized approach because everyone learns differently.
It's not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing.
Exactly.
Right.
And maybe most importantly, they emphasized having a positive mindset.
And managing stress effectively.
Easier said than done, but clearly it's a crucial part of their success. What really struck me was how much they talked about discipline and balance.
Right. It wasn't just about hitting the books nonstop.
They seem to have this really strong belief in themselves.
It's inspiring.
They found a way to balance rigorous preparation with staying healthy and confident.
That's a powerful lesson for all of us.
For sure.
All right, welcome back to our NEET Botany Deep Dive.
We're about to get even deeper.
You know, in the last part, we talked about the expert's advice on tackling each unit.
Like the roadmap to success.
Exactly. But now I'm super excited because we have two incredible NEET toppers joining us.
They aced this exam and are now studying at the prestigious Ames Deli.
Talk about rock stars. Please welcome Naeem, who scored an amazing 677.
And Naeem, who scored a perfect 720.
It's so inspiring to see how they not only ace the exam, but are following their passions.
Like, they're living proof that it's not just about the score.
It's about finding happiness in your career path, just like the expert said.
Exactly.
So, Naeem, you mentioned that your dad was your inspiration for pursuing medicine.
An anesthesiologist, right?
Yes. What was it about his work that really resonated with you?
Well, it wasn't just one thing, you know. Seeing his dedication to his patients was definitely huge.
Yeah, that makes a big difference.
The way he explained complex medical stuff so anyone could understand.
That's a gift.
And his genuine care for people's well-being, it really stuck with me.
It's like he embodies the spirit of a healer.
He really does. Naeem, your story is unique. You decided to pursue medicine to fulfill your sister's dream.
That's so touching.
Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Sure, my sister always wanted to be a doctor, but things didn't work out that way for her.
Life takes you in different directions sometimes.
She ended up choosing engineering,
It happens.
but seeing her unfulfilled dream, it sparked something in me.
Like you wanted to carry the torch.
Exactly. I wanted to honor her aspirations and show that anything is possible with hard work.
That's amazing. It's incredible how we can find inspiration in those closest to us.
Absolutely.
So you both achieved exceptional scores. Did you ever imagine such remarkable results?
Honestly, a perfect score felt like a far-off dream.
I can imagine.
I always aimed high, but I mostly focused on understanding the concepts and practicing consistently.
So the process over the outcome.
Yeah, and believing in myself. The result was a surprise. It really showed the power of hard work.
And never giving up.
Absolutely. Both of you emphasize the importance of self-beliefs and a positive mindset.
It's so important.
Did you have any strategies for staying calm and focused during those final weeks of preparation?
For me, it was all about routine, but not in a crazy, strict way.
Yeah, like finding a balance.
I made sure to get enough sleep, eat healthy food, and even do things I enjoyed to relax.
Like what? Spill the beans.
Believe it or not, watching an episode of my favorite web series every day was my go-to.
I love that. Little rewards to keep you going.
It helped me disconnect and come back to studying, feeling refreshed.
It's so crucial to find those moments of balance.
Burnout is real.
Incorporating those little joys into your routine makes a huge difference.
Name, how about you? How did you manage stress and stay focused?
I totally agree. Finding that balance was super important.
Yeah,
Intense study sessions are key, but so are breaks.
got to recharge.
Listening to music, spending time with loved ones, even just going for a walk.
Those are all great ideas.
Those things help me clear my head and come back to studying feeling energized.
A holistic approach.
Exactly. It's not just about hitting the books 24/7, but taking care of your mental and emotional well-being.
Absolutely.
Did seeking guidance from teachers and mentors play a role in your success?
Oh, definitely. Our teachers were amazing.
Shout out to all the awesome teachers.
They didn't just answer our questions, they gave us strategies for the exam,
That's so helpful.
helped us figure out our strengths and weaknesses, and their encouragement boosted our confidence.
Having that support system can make all the difference.
The expert also talked about understanding the exam pattern and creating a personalized approach.
Like tailoring your study plan to your own learning style.
Did you find that helpful?
Absolutely. We learned to adapt our study schedules based on what worked best for each of us. Focused on the topics we found challenging and made sure to revise the ones we were confident about.
That's strategic.
It helped us make the most of our time and effort.
It sounds like you both had a very strategic approach to conquering the NEET.
They were in the zone.
But what about those moments of doubt? We all experience them, especially facing a challenge like this exam.
It's natural to feel that way.
How did you deal with those feelings of uncertainty and pressure?
Oh, there were definitely times when I felt overwhelmed and doubted myself.
We've all been there.
But whenever those feelings crept in, I reminded myself why I wanted to be a doctor.
Remembering your why.
Exactly. And what my goals were. Talking to my family, friends, and teachers helped too.
Takes a village.
They always reminded me of my strengths and encouraged me to keep going.
A strong support system can be everything.
Knowing you have people in your corner can really make a difference.
For sure.
Naeem, did you have any particular strategies for overcoming those moments of self-doubt?
I tried to focus on the process, not just the end goal.
So celebrating the small victories along the way.
Exactly. I told myself every study session, every practice test was a step in the right direction.
That's a great way to look at it.
I tried to celebrate those small victories and not get bogged down by setbacks.
That's so important.
Having a positive attitude, even when things felt challenging, was key for me.
It sounds like your success wasn't just about academic brilliance.
It was about mindset, support, and balance.
You had the right mindset, found support, and created balance in your preparation.
Inspiring.
It really is. Their stories show that hard work, dedication, and believing in yourself can take you far.
And hold on, folks, because we're just getting started.
There's more.
Oh, yeah. We have even more insights from these awesome students coming up in part 3 of this deep dive.
Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the final part of our NEET Botany Deep Dive.
The grand finale.
We have our Ames Deli Superstars name and name here.
Ready to drop some more wisdom.
And we're talking about the main event, exam day. What was that experience like for you both?
It was definitely nerve-wracking, but I tried to stay calm.
Yeah.
Remember what the expert said about not getting stuck on those tough questions.
Just keep moving.
Exactly. Just move on and come back later if you have time.
It's so easy to get caught up in one question.
Oh, for sure. But that tip helped me keep my momentum going.
Smart strategy. Name, how about you? Did you walk in cool as a cucumber, or were there some pre-exam jitters?
Oh my gosh, I was a bundle of nerves. But I kept reminding myself that I had prepared well, and this was my chance to show what I knew.
That's a great mindset.
I also used breathing exercises to calm down before going into the exam hall.
I love that. Sometimes those simple things can make a big difference.
Deep breaths can work wonders.
Totally. You both mentioned how important careful reading is during the exam. Were there any types of questions that you found particularly tricky?
Those statement-based questions in genetics were the most challenging for me.
Oh yeah, those are tough.
They really make you think deeply about the concept.
And analyze every single word.
Exactly. You really have to dissect the wording to figure out the right answer.
It's like a puzzle.
The expert warned us about those. It's not enough to just memorize the facts.
You have to be able to apply them, think critically.
Exactly.
Name, were there any question types that you found particularly challenging?
Yeah, I agree. Those statement-based questions were tough.
They're designed to trip you up.
I also found some of the application-based questions in biotechnology challenging.
Oh, interesting. Tell me more.
They wanted you to connect ideas from different chapters, which really tested our overall understanding.
So it's not enough to just know the facts in isolation?
You got to see the big picture.
It sounds like the examiners are really upping their game, trying to see how you think, not just what you know.
Which is exactly what a good doctor needs, right?
Got
to be able to solve problems.
Absolutely. So, as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one piece of advice you'd give to future NEET aspirants? The ultimate golden nugget of wisdom.
I would say, believe in yourself and never give up on your dreams.
Powerful words.
The journey might be tough, but with hard work and a positive attitude, you can achieve anything you set your mind to.
I love that. Name, what about you? What's your parting message for our listeners?
Stay focused, stay disciplined,
Those are key.
and most importantly, enjoy the process. Medicine is a fascinating field.
It really is.
And the journey to becoming a doctor is full of amazing learning experiences. Embrace the challenges and celebrate the victories along the way.
What's so inspiring about both of these students is their passion for medicine.
It really shines through.
It reminds us that success isn't just about the destination, it's about the journey and the impact you make.
So true. A huge thank you to Name and Name for sharing their incredible stories and insights with us.
They've given us so much to think about.
We wish you both all the best in your medical journeys.
You're going to do great things.
And to all our listeners out there prepping for the NEET, remember, you've got this. Stay focused, stay positive, and go crush that exam.
And don't forget that final piece of wisdom from the expert.
Oh yeah, what was it?
Choose a career path that brings you happiness and fulfillment.
Because in the end, that's what matters.
Success isn't just about a high score. It's about finding purpose and making a real difference in the world.
Wise words. That's a wrap on our NEET Botany Deep Dive.
Hope you guys learned a ton.
We hope this episode has given you the knowledge and motivation to conquer that exam. Until next time, happy studying.